Yow, yow, yow. What up, what up, what up, my betting family? We back with another video here at No Limit Bets for the NBA slate of March 11th, 2023. Before we get started, though, as always, I would like to say good morning to y'all, good afternoon, whatever time it may be that you're watching this video. Hope y'all having a good one, and hopefully we can make it a better day by winning some money. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. It's truly appreciated. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. I'm going to be bringing y'all my top 6 picks for today's or tonight's NBA slate of games. We got a big slate today or tonight. There is an early game at 4 o'clock, so this is why I'm saying today/tonight. But there's 10 games, so definitely a big slate, a lot of props to pick from. But just to do a quick recap of yesterday's picks that we did post, we were able to go 3-3, neutral day, as Jeremy Grant gets over his points. So does Embiid. He had a monster game, hitting the game winner on top of it. And also Jimmy Butler was able to get it done. He had it rolling there in the fourth quarter to bring the Heat pretty much home, bring them a win. Now, the three that weren't able to hit, MPJ, we took his over on points and rebounds. He only ends up with 8. He had a rough game. I mean, he did end up getting ejected, having the altercation with Zach Collins after he dunked on him. But even without his ejection, that happened in the third quarter, midway through the third quarter. He only had 8 points and rebounds up to that point. Could he have gotten hot and hit a couple threes? Maybe, but it didn't look like he was going to hit it. Also, Fred VanVleet comes up short. And then our last one, Kyle Kuzma, also comes up short, as we took his over in 21.5 points. And I think he only ends up with 17. So all in all, 3-3 day. I consider it a losing day. So we definitely want to bounce back today and get back to our winning ways. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into my top 6 picks of today's NBA slate of games. For my first pick, I'm going to be going to a points and rebounds category, and I'm going to be going down to the Suns and Kings game, and I'm going to be taking DeAndre Ayton over 28.5 points and rebounds. Now, against the Kings, Ayton has hit this over in 4 out of his last 5 games, and that does include the 2 earlier matchups this season. Now, in those 5 games, he had a total of 37 points and rebounds, 41, 22, 29, and 40. Now, with this one, KD, obviously, as we know, is going to be out. So Booker is going to obviously need some help, have a second guy. And I think Ayton is going to be that guy tonight. Now, the Kings, as we know, they're a fast-paced team. Rarely any defense being played on their part. So I expect a lot of points to be scored on this one. And for DeAndre Ayton, obviously, to get us at least 29 points and rebounds. So I'm going to be rocking with him for my first pick. For my second pick, I'm going to go to the points category. I'm going to be going to the earliest game on the slate, the Clippers against the Knicks. And I'm going to be taking the under on R.J. Barrett, 22.5 points. Now, I know he's hit this over in 3 out of the last 5 games, pretty much his 3 most recent games. But as you guys can see, 2 of those games were against Charlotte and Sacramento, very fast-paced teams. Rarely any defense being played by any of those teams. Against Boston, he had it rolling. I'll give that one to him. He ended up with 29. He had a big game on that one against Boston. But against Miami and Brooklyn, he wasn't able to hit over his line, as you guys could see now. The reason why I'm bringing this up as far as in pace and defense is because this game is going to feature two of the slowest paced teams in the league this year. And then on top of that, RJ Barrett is most likely going to either get the Paul George matchup or the Kawhi Leonard matchup, which, as we know, both of those guys could be, top level defenders when they choose to be. Now, they did play once earlier this year, and RJ Barrett only ended up with 14 points. Now, on top of that, the Clippers are allowing the fourth least points per game to opposing small forwards. So all in all, I don't think this is going to be a good spot for RJ Barrett. So this is why I'm going to be taking his under. And that's going to be my second pick. For my third pick, I'm going to go to rebounds and assist prop. And I'm going to be going down to the Bulls and Houston Rockets game. And I'm going to be taking the over on DeMar DeRozan's 9.5 rebounds and assists. Now, on the road this season is where DeRozan has been playing better basketball. And on the road, he's averaging 10.1 rebounds and assists. Now, over the last 7 games, the Rockets are allowing the 8th most assists per game and the 10th most rebounds per game to opposing small forwards. So I think all in all, this should be a good matchup for DeRozan to get us, 10 rebounds and assists. As we know, Houston likes to play at a fast pace, and I think Chicago is, they kind of play to their competition. So I think this is not going to be a blowout. I think this should be a fairly close game. And just to add on to why I'm going to be taking his over, in the earlier matchup this season versus these two teams, DeRozan ended up with 14 rebounds and assists. And over his last 11 games against the Rockets, he's gone over in 10 of 11 of his last 11 against the Rockets. The one that he did miss was right on the hook with 9 rebounds and assists. So he's had a good trend, as far as in rebounds and assists against the Rockets. And with the Rockets pretty much not playing any defense and being, I believe, a lot of points scored, it's going to be a fast-paced game. I think DeRozan could definitely get us 10 rebounds and assists, so I'm going to be rocking with him for my third pick. For my fourth pick, I'm going to be going with another under. I'm going to be going to the three-point made category, and it might be an unpopular pick, but I'm going to be taking the under on Stephen Curry, 4.5 3-point makes. Now, I know over his last 5, he's averaging 5.2, as you guys can see, going over in 3 of those 5 games. Their last game against Memphis, he ended up right on the hook with 4. But tonight, they're going up against the Bucks. It is pretty much the nationalized televised game. It's going to be at 8:30 on ABC. Should be an entertaining game. But against the Bucks, he has been really struggling overall, especially from 3. Now, from 3, he's only hit 5 or more threes against the Bucks in only 5 of 21 career games. And they did play once earlier this season where Curry ended up shooting 3 from 10 from the 3. So definitely went under. He had the volume of shots there, as we know Curry will have from 3-point with 10, but he only ends up making 3. Now, the Bucks this season are a great defensive team, as we know. They're ranked second in defensive rating, and also they're second in the league and opponents' 3-point percentage. So all in all, I think this is not going to be a good game for Curry to go off from the three. The Bucks defense are top notch this season, and I think he's gonna have a rough game at least from the three. Now they do have his points at 28 and a half. He obviously, being a great player, he obviously could hit that, but I'm just focusing on his 3 points, and I don't think he'll be able to make five tonight against the Bucks. So I'm gonna be taking the under on Steph Curry 4.5 threes for my fourth pick. For my fifth pick, I rarely take these, but I think that this is a good spot to take it. I'm going to be going to the fantasy score category, and I'm going to be going down to the Jazz and Hornets game, and I'm going to be taking Walker Kessler over 35.5 fantasy score. Now, as you guys can see, over his last five, he's averaging 38.6 fantasy score, hitting the over in three of those 5 games. Their last game against Orlando, he ended up as a push with 35.5. And then against OKC, he pretty much, I mean, it's kind of hard to say ended right on the hook with a fantasy score, but he came up close against OKC with 34.2. Now, the reason why I'm liking this, obviously the Hornets, as we know, all season they struggle against opposing centers. They're a fast-paced team with rarely any defense being played. Now, the Hornets over the last 15 games are allowing the 4th most points per game, the 5th most rebounds per game, and the 6th most assists per game to opposing center. So it just goes hand in hand that they've all season they struggled against opposing centers. But on top of that, over his last 5 games overall, Kessler is averaging 3.8 blocks per game, which makes me, really like this fantasy score of 35.5. So I think this is a good spot for him. Obviously, I think he can get, his as far as in points, rebounds, maybe get a couple assists here and there, and then get a couple blocks. And I think he should have, get us over, obviously, the 35.5 fantasy score. So I'm going to be taking him for my 5th pick. And for my 6th and last picks, I'm going to go back to the points category. I'm going to be going back to the Kings and Suns game. And I'm going to be taking Kevin Huerter over 14.5 points. Now, over his last 5, as you guys can see, he's been killing it here lately as he's gone over 4 out of those 5 games, averaging 21.2, which is well above this 14.5 line that they have him at. The one that he did miss was their latest game against the Knicks, where he only ended up with 14 points right on the hook. Now, this season, the Suns are kind of struggling guarding opposing shooting guards, as they're allowing the 7th most points per game to opposing shooting guards. And they've matched up 2 times this season thus far, the Kings and Suns have. And in those 2 earlier matchups, Herder scored 18 points in each of those games. So I think this is going to be an entertaining game. I don't see it being a blowout. It should be a close competitive game with a lot of points scored. And obviously, I believe Kevin Huerter can at least get us 15. So that's going to be it for my top 6 picks. We're going to be taking the over on DeAndre Ayton, 28.5 points and rebounds. We're going to be taking the under on RJ Barrett's 22.5 points. The over on DeRozan's 9.5 rebounds and assists. The under on Steph Curry's 4.5 3-point makes. And then the over on both Kessler's fantasy score and Herder's 14.5 points. As always, if you agree with any of my plays, please do your own research. Just don't take my word for it. And here at No Limit Bets, we like to go with the low risk, high reward. We're going to be pasting a $5 entry for the possibility of winning the 125. So let's go ahead and place that entry. And that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Let's